is we're going to draw a dot in the middle of the paper. This is called the vanishing point. I want you to label it vanishing point. Now we're going to draw through that middle of that vanishing point. We're going to draw a line, a horizontal line. And that line is called the horizon. The horizon line. And the horizon line is our eye level. I'm going to draw a little eye to remind you. And it's also horizontal because our eyes are horizontal. Okay? And that is an imaginary line. And the vanishing point is an imaginary point. Have you ever looked down a road and seen how the parts of the road go together?
Mm-hmm.
But they don't really go together.
Yeah.
Right? That's just the way our eyes play a trick on us to make it seem like. So we're going to use that to create the illusion of space. Now, go ahead and title this 1 point perspective. And that is the technique of creating the illusion of 3D. So let's go ahead and take this square, and we're going to put it above the horizon line to the left of the vanishing point. So we're going to just go ahead and trace that square. When things, there's 1 point perspective, 2 point perspective, 3 point perspective, 4 point perspective. Today we're just going to do 1. And that is when things are facing us. If, for example, this box, when it's facing you, it's 1 point perspective. If it had the corner towards you, it would be 2 point perspective. If you had tried to draw it with the tip towards you, you would be drawing in 3 point perspective. We're going to everything's going to be 1 point perspective. And so, everything that's going away from you, or all the sides of the object are going away from you, and they're going to get smaller at a certain rate. Let me show you how to work it. From each piece, from each corner, you're going to draw a line to the vanishing point. And you'll see, automatically, that it looks like it's coming out of the background and coming towards you, and maybe even over your head. Remember that the horizon, as you do that, I want you to remember the horizon line is an imaginary line. For example, my horizon line right now is higher than yours. It's all relative. I can see the top of your head, where yours is lower than mine, and you might be able to see more of the lower part of my face, but I can't see any of that part of yours.
Yeah. So it kind of like looks like a kite?
It does. It looks like a kite up in the sky. So now, but you don't want the kite to be completely long all the way to where we can't see it anymore. That would be huge. So we're going to cut it off. One way to do it is to take our shape and to kind of slide it and redraw those same angles. And then we can erase the rest of it. Let's try a circle. Let's go as far down as we can here. Now with the circle, it doesn't have any corners. So I have to imagine myself picking it up with like a pair of chopsticks on the very outside. We're not going to stab it like a lollipop. We're going to pick it up from each side. We're just using our imagination. So how I do that is I put my pencil on the vanishing point and I put my ruler up against the outside edge of the circle, and I do the same thing here. And now we can imagine a very long tube coming towards us, but we can see the top of it right now because it's underneath our vanishing point, our horizon line, our eye level. Sorry. Oh. Now the same thing you can do here, and you can scoot it back, but it might not be the exact same. You might have to curve it a little bit more to match the curve of this side. It looks like a... Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and erase that. Now we never want anything to end at our horizon line or start at the horizon line. Since this is an imaginary line, we got to avoid it because anything that starts right here or ends right here is hard to see. So let's go with our, over here, let's go with our rectangle. I'm going to draw right over where I wrote the words. It's best not to do anything right in the very center with the vanishing point. All of your objects should be like to one side or the other. Now this goes over the horizon line, so chances are you really won't be able to see the top or the bottom. And sure enough, see this side? You'd have to go through the form, so you don't want to draw the line there. So we're gonna, for every time we can draw a line through, we will. But if we have to go through the form, we're not going to draw that line. Not unless it were transparent, which not a lot of things are. So yeah, so on this one, I can only draw a line from two sides. Because it's right over the horizon line, I can't see the bottom or the top of it. And again, we can slide this over and match the angle. So we're going to do one more shape. I'm going to do, along with 1 point perspective, we also want to use a lot of layering to give you the illusion of space. So right now I'm going to take this square and I'm going to put it on top of here, but I'm not going to draw on top. I'm going to try to imagine this square being a little behind the cylinder. So here I'm going to go ahead and draw it, but I'm not going to go over any lines of the cylinder. Like that. But I might make a little mark where the bottom corner of the square would be. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line from this corner. I definitely can do that. This corner. From down here I couldn't. And from here, it's just depending on how far back the square goes. Maybe I make a line, but I don't go through the cylinder. And then I will do the same thing here. I'm going to have this corner travel along the corner line, and I'm going to trace. So I did this, and I had this little corner piece travel along its little line. This, you don't have to do it that way, but it just makes sure that everything's parallel. And you can put these shapes together to create more complex shapes. The last thing to think about when you're drawing in 1-point perspective, we have layering, but we also have value. Imagine this is your light source. I'm going to draw a little sun, even though I don't really draw a sun in real life. This is just to show you the light source. And the light source, the light comes out from all directions from the light source, but it hits each shape, the plane of each shape, in a different way. So for example, the sun might shine right on the top of this. We can't see it, but over here the sun would be more blocked. So we might shade this a little bit, just gently with our pencil. And also we might have it cast a little bit of a shadow. This might block more sun. It just depends on how we see it. Maybe the sun is more blocked on this side. So maybe this will be a different shade, maybe a little bit darker. So each side of a cube will be a different shade because it faces the sun a different way. So now I imagine that the sun will hit this one, and it'll be the lightest, and then maybe this will be second to dark, and it'll be just shaded a little bit, and then underneath it will be shaded more, because usually the bottom parts of stuff are shaded more. And you can see that it really looks a lot more 3D when you add just a little bit of value. Now this one is up in the air, so it doesn't have a shadow right underneath it, but it might cast a shadow down here on the top of this guy. A little bit. So I might shade in this one, might be the darkest. This one would be, I don't know, the lightest, and this might be medium. Yeah. A cylinder is shaded a little bit differently. It might be kind of dark here and go to light and have maybe like a stripe of shading. But the point is that every plane is shaded differently. And that's 1-point perspective.